Hi, art friends. I have a secret to tell you. I'm not talented. I'm not talented. I love making art, and I was born with a love of creativity and of showing up and of drawing. And I have drawn almost every day of my life since I was 5 years old, from sketchbooks to drawing with ketchup on my plate after dinner. I have just been showing up and drawing for, like, I'm not good at math. This is really challenging. 23 years. I'm 28. Okay. For like 23 years, I've just been showing up and making art and drawing. And me and most other artists who you think are awesome, they're not talented, they're skilled. They have a love of art. They have a reason that they started creating, that they showed up, but they aren't inherently better than you. They're not better than you. I'm not better than you by any, like, for any reason. I just showed up and made art, and then I showed up and made art again, and then I made some bad art, and then I made some okay art, and then I made some good art, and then I made some great art, and then I made some bad art again. Like, I'm not better than anyone because I'm an artist. I just showed up. And the people that you love and admire, they showed up. And if you want to be an amazing artist, you don't need talent, you need to show up. And I've found that the only people who speak about talent as being important are people who don't make art, and people who maybe just want to say, oh, you see, I'm not an artist because I'm not talented, like you, who's talented. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I've showed up and made art for, like, since I was a kid. Like, I'm here today because I've been making art for like multiple decades now. I'm not talented. Just when other people were scrolling on their phone, I was drawing in a sketchbook. When other people were sitting in class taking notes, I was drawing in my sketchbook. When other people were like watching a movie, I was drawing in a sketchbook. I have just been drawing in a sketchbook for so long. And I just don't want any artist to feel like, oh, they can't make art because they're not talented. And I've had so many people be like, I tried art and I'm not good. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? What does it mean you tried art? You don't try art. Like, if I haven't gone to the gym ever, I'm not gonna go try the gym and see if I'm ripped. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, I wouldn't show up to like a gym I've never been to and I haven't worked out and said, you know what? I'm gonna try and see if I have some gym talent. Let's call it. Oh, no, I don't. It's really hard to run and I can't lift big weights. Those people must be talented because I've only been here one day. They're talented and maybe they've only been here one day too. I'm just not like that. Like, sure, people might have inherently different genetics and abilities, but it doesn't matter because you're the only you that there is. I'm the only me that there is. So show up and create, and don't be so focused on what cards you came to the table with. Just show up to the table and play the game. And I just feel like so many people are stuck in this, I'm not talented, I'll give it a try. And it's so funny because I remember when I was younger and I'd make art and someone would be like, oh, that's not good. And I'm like, yeah, that's okay though, right? Because I'm learning, because I'm growing, because I'm like a human growing and developing a skill, and it's not gonna be good yet because I'm at the start. And I think the way that I looked at bad art that I made when I was starting my career and was just like starting as an artist when I was younger was like, this is the path. You're supposed to make a lot of bad art in order to make good art. It's not science, it's just linear growth, it's progression. And it just like, I don't know why I get so mad about it, because I get mad because people disqualify themselves from doing things that they love because they're not instantly gifted at them, and they don't realize that the people who inspire them aren't gifted either. They showed up and they worked for it. It's not a gift you were given, it's something you created. And that's art, and that's being an artist. You show up and you create again, and you're willing to create even when people tell you that your art isn't good, because it's not good because you're early, because you're developing the skill. And I just like, I hope you listen to these videos while you're sketching or while you're painting or maybe while you're driving. I don't know. Do whatever, be safe. But I hope that you listen to this and internalize that listening to people who aren't artists tell you what it takes to be an artist is not a good idea. If someone hasn't done what you want to do, you shouldn't take their advice. If you wouldn't like want to be like the person who's giving advice, don't take their advice. Don't take it seriously. Like, if someone is an accountant who's never made art and says, here's what you need to do to be a successful artist, I'd be like, where are you getting this information? Like, you work in an office as an accountant. You've never made art. You've never pursued art. You're not friends with any artists. Like, it blows my mind the amount of people that when I was starting my career, and even now, but mostly at the start, when I was younger, like when I was 18, 19, 20, would give me advice, even though this isn't their line of work at all. But they'd be like, I'm older, so I know. No, you don't know. You're not in the field. You're not an artist. You don't you don't know. You don't know. So why are you giving advice? And I think fundamentally a lot of people want to feel smart, so they'll give advice on topics they know nothing about. That's why my YouTube channel is all about art, because I know a lot about art, but there's a lot of things I don't know about. I'm not going to give you legal advice because I don't know anything about like laws and stuff. I'm not going to give you accounting advice because I'm not an accountant. I'm not going to give you advice on so many topics. There's so many topics I'm not going to touch because that's just like not my area of expertise. But I'm going to talk about art because I've spent my whole life dedicated to being an artist, and the last decade of adulthood creating an art career online and in person. And that's why I feel confident to talk about it. And you can look me up, look at my website, look at my portfolio, look at some of the projects I've done, and you can decide for yourself, is Dahlia someone I want to be like? Is Dahlia someone who I respect and admire? Is Dahlia like a role model to me? Is this someone who I want to be like in any way? And if the answer is no, that's okay. Go find someone who is a role model to you. It is so important to find role models who you want to be like, who you want to emulate, who you respect. And I think a lot of people just listen to whoever is around them, their teachers, their parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, friends, doesn't matter. But they listen to people who aren't artists, who are important in their life, certainly. Family members you love, friends you love, teachers you respect in many ways. But the problem is, if they're not an artist, they can't give you advice on this profession, on being an artist. And maybe they even are an artist, but not the type that you want to be. And I think it's really important to find people who've done what you want to do, because people have done what you want to do. People have done what I want to do. And I'm here today because, I've heard it said I stand on the shoulders of giants. And I really do. I've just looked at artists who I admire. There's books all around me of artists I admire. I've watched so many YouTube videos. I've gone to art talks. Like, I've spent time learning from artists who I admire. And I'm just like, those are real people. And I remember when I was in art school, and I would ask some of my professors, how do you succeed as an artist? And I asked multiple professors, and they said, it's luck. And I thought, are you kidding me? I'm not paying tuition to be told it's just luck. And I dropped out and I started to spend time at art museums. I actually got a very basic job at an art museum just so I could like be around it and learn how it works. And I read business books and I went to workshops taught by artists I admire and spent money on that instead of tuition, learning from people who weren't actually in the field, who knew how to draw really well, but didn't know how to get that drawing into a gallery or a museum. They didn't understand the infrastructure of the art world, which exists. There are museums, there are galleries, there are people making a living off of it. And people are like, oh, how many people is that? Why do you care? Why do you care? Are you planning on being average? Are you planning on not being amazing? Are you planning on being mediocre? That's the thing that I never understand when people are like, well, the average person can't. Are you the average person? I don't think you are. I know I'm not. I'm not the average person. And if you're watching this video, you're not either. So don't be pressed about what the average person can do. See the greats, look at them as your role models, and go after what you want. And I'm just tired of this idea of talent. Find role models who you admire, learn from them, emulate them in your own unique way, show up, and trust the process. That's it today. See you guys soon.